The following show is for purposes only and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of Emulator Media LLC, its subsidiaries, affiliates, sponsors, and advertisers.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode number 21 of the Houslander and Ferretti Hour. I am your host, Josh Houslander, with me as always. Also the host, not co-host, we're both like the head host. Also the host, Rudy J. Ferretti. How you doing, Rudy?
I'm doing good. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks, but we got some other shows that obviously are posting now as we speak because we never do really a live show. We always do this pre-recorded and we don't rehearse. You know, I didn't want to, put too much on this subject, but, first off, it's good that the new year's over with and that we're back into, the beginning of the year and we're going into February. And, lots of things have changed. We've got ups and downs with the economy. As you can see that, whether you like the Democrats, the Libertarians, whatever it is, you can see the government shutdowns going back and forth. President Trump is trying to do all he can, and as you can see, they are more worried about their pockets than doing something for America, and I'm really getting tired of the bullshit. You want to touch on that subject really quick?
Yeah, not really. I'm you mentioned libertarians, and that's kind of how I tend to, how I identify usually. If you insist on using identity politics, which is not really my thing, but I personally, except for feeling bad for the troops, who are the ones that really get screwed when the government shuts down, I love it when the government shuts down, Rudy. I do. I love it when the government shuts down because it proves how unnecessary most of government is. And when it shuts down, and it's always, oh, hey, look, government shut down. How did your life change? Oh, it didn't? Oh, good. It's kind of like when a stoplight goes out. I love it when I see a stoplight go out driving around because of the immediate order that takes place right after it's like a stoplight goes out, and then everyone just like, oh, everybody crashed.
Well, I mean, I have family members.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
I just like it when, and I know I'm not even sounding like a libertarian now, so I'm more like an anarchist, but I can't stand the idea that the government's just so important that, oh no, what are we going to do?
Well, the problem is I have family members that work in government and other people, in government jobs, and the problem with that is when it does shut down, everybody gets furloughed. I get what you're saying, though, about as far as the government always getting involved in everything and making the difference here in the country. But the problem with that is because we have all these career politicians doing all this shit. And, it's time that they get their pays cut or they get kicked out of office after a few years. They need term limits. These people should not be allowed to be in the fucking Senate for 30 years or 20 years or whatever. I mean, if the president can't be there longer than 8, why the hell is it okay for all these other assholes? They're ruining the country technically at the end of the day, because even though the president is the one with the power of the pen and the veto and executive orders, the truth is Congress still has to, at the end of the day, approve a lot of things for things to go through. And when you've got your own party that doesn't do things right, they're all bad.
The president's not supposed to have all those powers. It's totally unconstitutional, if you ask me. It's Congress that is supposed to legislate. I do support term limits, though. I'm a huge guy on term limits. But one of the problems I have with that is that the only guy I can name in the Senate who supports term limits is Rand Paul, the guy who I have to vote for president of the United States. But I don't know if there's another one. Justin Amash, I know, does in Congress, and a few other, House reps do. Yeah. But I don't know if another senator. You got a couple of guys who kind of used to. Orrin Hatch ran on wanting to have term limits on the Senate, and that was like 25, 30 years ago or something, and he's been in ever since.
Yeah. Well,
now retiring because he's 150 or however old he is. But,
yeah, and not to change the subject, because everybody has to realize this. We are basically electronic athletes / video game / sports show, and that's really what we talk about. We try not to talk too much about politics, so we're pretty much done on that subject. I mean, obviously, Josh and I both are different parties, but we still have a lot of similar values. And just to cut that short with the politics, I'm just going to say this: it's been a revolving door, and the bottom line is the president wants to get things done, and Congress is not allowing it. But I have to ask you something. What do you think about a guy who lives off his wife, who fucking is desperate to get likes and desperate for attention? I mean, I would say this is borderline gay, possibly bisexual. I mean, when you post about somebody 17 times, and I'm not talking about making a post about somebody on Facebook, I'm talking about posting articles, not including your thousands of sub-posts, 17 fucking times in an 84-hour period. And it's a fact. You can go look at Patrick Scott Patterson's page. He posted 17 times about Billy Mitchell in a fucking 84-hour period, not including sub-posts.
Just start it and just start talking.
So yeah, in a 17 posts in an 84-hour period about a man that he clearly wanted to be like, that he's obsessed over. 17 times, not including sub-posts. You tell me how the that's now he's not be going events, he doesn't want drama anymore, he's going to be doing video hunts. You know how scared shit about the political for he is. And I just love how I am. Basically, if you go to Patrick...
What are they posting about?
Patrick Scott Patterson was posting stuff about Billy Mitchell and bashing him for Donkey Kong kill screens. Meanwhile, this is a guy who fucking cheated and pretended to have a Donkey Kong kill screen that was rejected by several refs on Twin Galaxies. The funny thing is that he posted 17 different articles about Billy Mitchell regarding, you know, his possible ban for life from Twin Galaxies database, world records in general, just like what happened to the late Todd Rogers. And I say late Todd Rogers, I know he's still alive as a person, but he's dead now as a video game legend gamer, whether you love him or not.
I don't think that's true, but you continue. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. Again, we're allowed to have disagreements and still love each other, right? But
and Rudy and I do. We disagree on a lot of this stuff, and we'll get into that in a minute. I'll let Rudy finish, but Rudy and I are actually kind of on opposite sides of this huge controversy to some degree.
It's true.
But go ahead, Rudy.
But I will just say this point is, if you're posting about somebody 17 times in an 84-hour period, and again, it's a fact, go to Patrick Scott Patterson's page, when you're posting about somebody that many times, how the fuck do you have time to eat? How do you have time to sleep? Shit. How the hell do you have time to fuck your wife? I mean, I'm just saying, something's just not right here. I've never posted about even myself 84 times, 17 times, in an 84-hour period. And you can go look at my Facebook and check for yourself. I see everybody trying to bite off what's going on. Bottom line, if Billy Mitchell cheated, he needs to be banned for life. I want Steve Wiebe gone. I mean, there's so many people that need to go out of this gaming scene once and for all. But let me ask you, what do you think about that he's not going to go to events now for video gaming and do video gaming hunts? And he also said he's no longer going to be saying happy birthday to video games, which obviously we know he realized it was dumb and cheesy. But here's the funny part. He claims he's been doing it for years, so that's why he's stopping. Last I checked, he hasn't even been doing it for 2 fucking years. Fucking moron.
Listen, I don't. When it comes to Patrick, I don't know what this guy's problem is. I really don't. He is absolutely, positively obsessed with Billy Mitchell. He has been for years, actually, by the way.
Yeah.
The first time I met PSP years ago, he was going on and on about Billy Mitchell and his obsession. It used to be a good obsession. Not the obsession wasn't good, but he used to be on Billy's side.
Right.
With this obsession, and now he's not, because I don't know if he wants to be Bill Mitchell. I don't know if he is jealous of Bill Mitchell. I don't know if he was hoping that by years of sucking up to Bill Mitchell that he could then be the next Bill Mitchell. I have no idea what goes on in PSP's head. I do know that the guy has an ability to make enemies out of people who have never done anything to him. I mean, some of his enemies, like you, for instance, Rudy, you and PSP are like legit enemies. You're like arch enemies in a lot of ways.
Right.
And you guys have gone back and forth with each other.
Right.
But some of the people that Patrick has attacked over the years, myself and Mike Soroka, to put too fine a point on it.
Right.
Some of these people, I have no idea why he doesn't like us. I've been around for a while, I've seen PSP around these guys, and he used to just be the ultimate Bill Mitchell, Steve Sanders, Todd Rogers, Steve Wiebe sycophant.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is the ultimate hater, and I don't understand why. I know a lot happened in between then and now,
right?
But I don't get this guy.
Well,
and
just so you know
that I know that you're calling guys out a lot. I'm sick of all these bans. I think Todd Rogers has been persecuted. I do not agree with what they've done to Todd Rogers. I think Todd Rogers and Bill Mitchell and Steve Wiebe are good guys. I consider them personal friends of mine.
Right.
And I don't want to see this happen to them.
Right.
I know, you've kind of joked here and there. You did your Rogers show. You did stuff like that.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine. You're cracking jokes.
Yeah.
But I'm sick of this. I think it's the downfall of Twin Galaxies.
Well, probably.
He's, us calling them out. And the questions I have are the people doing this, do they really think that they're helping the situation, or are they trying to destroy Twin Galaxies?
Right.
And our segment of competitive games.
It's a good point.
What do you think?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think, I'm not stupid like a lot of people are in the gaming scene, and I'm smarter than they think. And I'll tell you this, and this is going to shock you. I think that piece of shit Jace and everybody else is doing this to clean house, kind of like in sports teams. I think they're cleaning house, not in a good way, though. Unlike, real sports where you clean house, to get better team to win a Stanley Cup or win a title, whatever the case may be, right?
I think I know where you're headed with this. You're saying that they realize that they cannot achieve the power they want. They want power over Twin Galaxies.
They want to get rid of the good. They want to get rid of the good and bad originals. They want to get rid of all of us classic gamers. Look what they've done to me. I'm one of the Michael Jordans of the fucking site ever in history of Twin Galaxies, and I don't care if it sounds like a brag. It's a fact. And they fucking threw me away because I told some asshole who doesn't do anything for that site except sucks, Jace's cock and jumps on him in reverse cowgirl position. Okay, cowboy position, I should say. Okay, up and down. Right. William McAvoy, data suck, data god. Okay.
I do not approve of this.
That's fine. Don't approve of it. Don't approve of it. It's here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. Okay, they're cleaning house because they want to get rid of the classic gamers and push the classic gamers away so they can make way for the modern gamers. And it's not okay, because here's the thing. If it's just about money and publicity and only worrying about the new modern community, that's a fucking punch in the face to the originals. If it was like that in all sports, sports would be destroyed. Imagine if they got rid of and threw everybody out that did all the contributions over the years just to make way to get something else in there. It's just stupid. So, yeah, I'm hoping that they burn and crash and burn.
I agree with that part of it, Rudy, and I do think that when we're talking about getting rid of the classic gamers, I don't necessarily think that speaks to what kind of video games said people play. I don't think they want to get rid of them because it's a question of classic gaming. I think they just know that they cannot take control of this subculture. They cannot take control of this system. They cannot have the power that they desire as long as the Billy Mitchells and Todd Rogers and Walter Days and even Rudy Ferretti's of the world are still present. So they want everybody gone. They want everybody gone. And that's why I find it a little bit strange, Rudy, and I'll ask you this just flat out. Yeah. Because you're for people's bands, but you're a band.
Right.
And I disagree with it when you were banned. And I'm disagreeing with it when I'm seeing these other people banned for just stupid reasons. And quite frankly, I'm going to use an analogy.
Yeah.
Rudy.
Okay.
I'm going to use an analogy that could be construed as me saying Todd Rogers or Billy Mitchell or someone else could have potentially cheated, and I don't think that. So I want to make it clear that I'm not trying to use that analogy for that reason, because I'm not calling them cheaters and never have.
Of course.
I don't think that's accurate at all.
Right.
But this would be like finding out that Babe Ruth may or may not have used a cork bat.
Yeah.
This is like finding out that Nolan Ryan occasionally threw spitballs or used pine tar.
Right.
This is like finding out that, well, and here's one that's actually kind of true, that Michael Jordan buddy with some of the refs, and that maybe the refs were told, I have to call every foul on Michael Jordan.
Right.
Because Michael Jordan. And then us, or new blood, or it's not, say that me certainly isn't you.
Of course.
But that not like you are looking to destroy the thing that you've worked so hard to put records into.
No, exactly. And now that all these score challenges have happened, people that I no longer talk to, like William McAvoy, Dean Wenzel, and Dean Wenzel, I try to be his friend and whatnot. And Dean Wenzel, as you know, went out of his way to get me this arcade board set to beat my record back because he felt really bad for what happened with, Splatter Hussey and Anthony Papsmear and the Galloping Ghost bullshit with arcade. But to go into that really quick, what's bothering me is that ever since I stopped talking to William McAvoy because he proved he wasn't a real friend, he, has threatened now to make it look like my score is fake. I just want everybody to know out there, contact Andrew Welburn. He's very well known in the gaming community. He's respected. He made my board set. I've told you guys all this before. There's only two ways in the world to make a Splatterhouse board, with a Pac-Mania board and a Galga 88 board. All two, they're very, very rare, very expensive. Everybody that has a Splatterhouse board, everybody, except for the people that got it when it was a kit, when it first came out from Namco, has a Splatterhouse board that was converted legally because of the fact that Pac-Mania and Namco and, of course, Galga 88 made that one board for all three games. It's not illegal. So now they're saying because my security chip is not on my board, which all that does is make it harder to keep the memory on the game, which means it would die out and the battery would have to be replaced or something every 5 years or so or something. I don't know. Does not affect the gameplay. So William McAvoy and a few others are trying to lie and say that they're MAME chips and that they're fucking console board chips and whatnot. The game is slower. It's so fucking stupid. The game, I would have 1.6 million or 1.8 million if that was the case. And if it was PAL, oh my god, the score would probably be like 3 million. Because with that kind of lag, I would never miss a kick on stage 6. Everybody knows this. William McAvoy knows this. So does Dean Wenzel. Dean Wenzel was the one who got me the board. Andy Welburn would not jeopardize his fucking business to make a fake board for me to get a score. Wake up, people. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat a lot. I guess I'm getting over a little virus or something, but I hope that all makes sense.
No, it does. And, listen, a lot of these people that you mentioned, they're people that I don't know maybe personally, but I know them well. And this is what is driving me crazy, Rudy, about this competitive gaming world, is that you have people who I know are good people who rub people the wrong way, maybe like you, maybe like McAvoy, maybe like Dean Wenzel, maybe like a lot of these people. And people just end up being at each other's throats over this stuff. And the competitive gaming subculture ceases being about video games or even competition, but just about this drama. And the one thing I really want to point out is look what social media has done to this competitive gaming subculture. It really bothers me that, I feel like, excuse me, I'm clearing my throat as well. I feel like Facebook and other forms of social media, and actually even the forums on Twin Galaxies itself, are just the worst thing that has ever happened to competitive gaming, because you just have so many people constantly getting in new fights all the time and just back and forth with each other, and it's really been terrible. Do you think social media has been a good thing for competitive gaming, Rudy, or do you think I'm off here? Because the more I look at it, I just think it's terrible.
I think it's a yes and no answer. Obviously, I think there's always two ways to that. social media has helped gaming because it's exposed what people have done wrong. But yes, social media in reverse has also done bad things, like to people like me. People making up stories, things that I can prove they're fake, unlike, people like Patrick Scott Patterson and Kat, who have been caught lying, like, for instance, trying to say that Activision was around in 1977 and Dragster, which we know is bullshit. And then claiming they got a screenshot from somebody that did, the 551 in the state of Washington. Yeah, just so ironic where Kat lives. Give me a fucking break. So yeah, it has helped and hurt. I think the same thing can be true about everything. Technology has helped us, but it's also hurt us. Because technology gets us in trouble now. You have a conversation with somebody, they take it the wrong way in fucking text form, you get into an argument. And this could be anything from guy, girl, or a sexual relationship that you're having online before you meet the person. They take the words you say the wrong way and they think you're a pig. But if you said it in person and they saw your facial expressions, they would know you're just kidding around. So I think
that is very true about the way things come across on social media, the way things come across via text.
And it all goes hand.
And hey, I want to be clear about one thing too, though.
Yeah.
Rudy, is that when I criticize social media, I don't think social media is bad.
Right.
Social media is like a gun. Social media, maybe a better analogy would be social media is like a guns are, always a touchy subject for a lot of people. Social media is like a brick. Social media is amoral. It is simply how one uses it, whether or not it's good or bad. I mean, a brick can be used to help build a beautiful home, or it can be used to be thrown through your car's window. It's not the brick that is good or bad. It's what someone does with it. And social media is the same way.
Right.
It is. And but I feel like so many people just take things the wrong way, and so many of these disputes that start or that happen they actually started on social media from something that probably has nothing to do with video games.
Makes sense.
I mean, a lot of these disputes are why people don't like each other, or why people are actually even disputing scores, isn't because they think the game is bad. It's because they don't agree with that person on politics or religion, or just don't like them personally. And I hear a lot of these complaints going around when it comes to the dispute system. I hear people saying, people aren't using the dispute system properly. They're just using it against people they don't like to try to screw with them. And at the risk of sounding immature, when I hear people say that, my response is always like, well, duh. What did you think was going to happen? I mean, I could have told anybody that from day one, and any logic-minded person would have said the same thing. So people aren't going to use this the way it's intended to be used. People are going to use it, whether it be right away or just eventually down the line. People are going to try to use this dispute system to just try to screw with people they don't like.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that's the only reason anyone's ever done it. I mean, I think, I've always kind of been on Todd Rogers' side, or I seem to fall more on Todd Rogers' side when it comes to the dragster thing. But I think there are some people who are just legitimately think that score was, not doable and that they were contesting it. So I'm not using that one as an example, but you just see them in the works.
Well,
see people contest scores of people that they're contesting them because they just don't like the guy.
The problem I have is that I've known Todd Rogers longer than most people, including you. And to make a long story short with that, every time I've contacted him about every score that has been in dispute, he sits there in fucking denial, even when I have proof. He still believes his lie in his heart that the Wabbit score can be done over 1,300 points when 4 people, me, myself, and 3 others, have proved 1,300 is a maximum kill screen. Splatterhouse, which he claims 999,999,999 points. It would take 1,000 hours to do that score. Let's say if it was possible, it would be listed everywhere as the longest achievement ever in history of his life. And even if you cut that in half down to 99,999,999 points, it still would take about 100 hours. I've also studied the game a little bit more, even though I'm an expert on it. Even if you could leech Stage 4 underground forever and ever, which is a potential possibility, that would be automatic disqualification because you're staying on an earlier stage in the game, which means you're not progressing, and it's something that you're able to do forever. Remember, Stage 6 you can't do forever.
Pushing at that point.
What's that?
You would be point pushing at that point.
Right. Point pushing on Stage 6 is different than leeching on Stage 4, because Stage 6 you can't. The comes out. We believe that also on Stage 4, the blue orb will come and kill you. But here's the thing: the blue orb doesn't come kill you. It's that could be.
There's just more. Yeah.
If the value of NES games ever goes what it was, what do you call it? In April 1st of 2008, if it ever goes back to the value it was, which was $7 average a cartridge, your collection's worth absolutely shit. And in a sense, you're going to lose money no matter what you paid, because even though you went around with mom and pop like I did and got games in the 90s for $1 here at a yard sale or $5, once the shit goes down to an average of $7, you have to factor in the gas, your time, the sentimental value, and now you're giving it up for just a couple of dollars more or maybe a couple of dollars less than what you paid. I'm sorry, so I disagree. If it ever tanks back to the normal values it was in those times, and even lower in the 90s rather, you'll never sell it for what you could get for it now. And it may never tank to the point where it's worthless, but worthless is one thing, but being down to less than what you paid is just as bad as being worthless.
Well, that's very true, Rudy, but I hope people know this out there, that, this, what I'm about to reveal is the dirty little secret that every collector should know.
Right.
Maybe they don't. Maybe there's some out there that really do think that, they're just working the investment world properly by collecting old video games or collecting old comic books, but collecting old junk is never a good investment.
Right.
Okay? That investment will never pay off. If you want to collect baseball cards because you love baseball cards,
right,
then collect baseball cards. And if you feel like selling at some point to further your collection, or to start a different collection, or you lost interest or something, go ahead. That's fine. That's fine. The idea of collecting doesn't work without buying and selling naturally. But you can't really truly expect to have a good investment out of collecting old junk.
Right.
And for those of you out there who said, "Oh, that's not true, Josh. I bought, I bought Avengers #1.
Yeah.
15 years ago for $800, and then I sold it for $2,000. There's your investment.
Yeah. The money's there.
Great.
It's a matter of pulling out.
Good for you that happened.
Yeah.
But we all know, truth be told, there was much better ways you could have invested that money.
Well, you got to pull out
or turned it around in some way.
You have to pull.
Hey, you like old video games? Collect old video games. Just have it to enjoy your own collection, but don't kid yourself or the people around you in saying that you have this great investment.
Well, again, it's a great investment.
Is the sentimental value.
It's a great investment.
Investment is if it makes you happy.
If you flip it right away, it's a great investment. If I was to go out today and get $11,000 worth of games for $6,500 and then find somebody to buy it for $11,000, I made my money. Point is, I have the stuff. It's my decision if I'm going to keep it or I'm going to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it because I love gaming, and I have the EverDrives, I have the multi-carts, and I have some games I'll never need to part ways with. And now I can get reproductions now for next to nothing. And now that I'm in the speedrunning community, I'm allowed to use emulators or carts, so it doesn't really matter either way. And that's what I've been doing. And speedrunning's tough. I'll tell you something about speedrunning. Speedrunning is different than scoring. It's not fun in my eyes. I guess the reward at the end, if you get the championship and gain the #1 spot in speed, then it's really rewarding. But massive resets, failure after failure, fuck up after fuck up, mistake after mistake, which is the same thing really. It's annoying. I don't find a lot of enjoyment in doing the speed run. The other night I played Karate Kid for the first time in a while, and I got 446 on it. And I was the first gamer ever to actually get a 4-minute something score on it. And then, of course, the speedrunning community, trounced me in that aspect. But, at least I was the original. Same with Monopoly. So I was doing speedruns before speedruns became popular. But I don't find them enjoyable. It takes a special person to want to sit there and reset a game over and over again until you get the best time possible. Have you ever gone for a speedrun in your gaming career?
Never have.
Okay.
Never have. I thought about it, but no, I really haven't. I wanted to, when I was a kid, I used to time myself on a couple of games.
Yeah.
Speedrunning wasn't the right thing, so,
right.
And I remember I used to do that on DuckTales a lot,
right.
And a couple other kind of the easier type games that you just beat so many times, like, let's see how fast I can beat. Super Mario Brothers, stuff like that.
Exactly.
But I've never submitted one. It's been since I was a kid, a child, since I've actually even tried to do it. So no, I don't have any sort of speed running type records.
Good point.
Out there. I mean, unless you count, playing racing games, where that really is the only way to do it. To try to get best lap or best race or something like that.
Right.
So it's true, some of those old games, I know I have some like goofy records that have probably been beaten, kind of floating around between galaxies over the years. I think at one point I had some F-Zero stuff. I could be wrong about that though. So I guess that's
right.
Racing, and that's the only way you can do.
Well, the funny thing is that when I was doing speed running before speed runs were speed runs, you know what I mean? Before that was the case. I think what happened was the pressure was off more. Number one, I didn't have a lot of competition. I'll be first to admit it. And the people that were speedrunning at the time were fucking horrible, and I could beat them at any time I wanted to. However, now I have a lot of competition, and believe it or not, all these idiots, including friends on my friends list, think like, well, nobody's going to care about this game, nobody's going to care about that game. Hey, retards, there's more submissions on the shittier games that you guys call that I play for speedrunning than there is on popular games. No joke. There's actually more.
I can see that.
There's more popularity on garbage, that you guys call so-called garbage games. I kid you not. It's absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it myself. So, my fastest time in Karate Kid was 4:26, I think, or something like that, as back in the day, and I did that back in 2010. And so, like I said, I was the first person to break, below 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And keep in mind, like I said, back then, speedrunning wasn't that crazy. But now the world record is 4 minutes and 1 second. And it's very tough to beat. And I am gunning for it, but it ain't going to be easy. 45 seconds away, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot. I did the tournament.
That could be an eternity in speedrunning.
It could be. It comes down to the fucking Typhoon stage, so it's stage 2, which is basically a reenactment of Karate Kid Part 2 when they had the storm, and that gets really tough because everything's got to go in your favor. It's kind of like Friday the 13th. In order to get a sub 3 minute run, and that's another thing I want to say too. And people are going to get offended by this, but I really don't give a fuck. Speedrunning's not skill. Speedrunning's luck. You have to have the skill and the wisdom to want to play, but really at the end of the day, you also have to get dealt the best hand possible in order to get the record. I don't care how good you think you are. If you need to turn on a game 100 to 1,000 times to get a run, that's great. You had the willpower to do it, but that doesn't mean you're skillful. You're skillful when you could turn on a game once and get the world record. And keep in mind, there were days that I used to do that before the speedrunning community started. There were days where I just had a few resets and I would get a championship. But now, it really comes down to, a lot of luck. And speedrunners don't want to hear this, but it's just true. Just think about how many resets it took to get 258 on an emulator for fucking Friday the 13th. You hear them talk all the time. Numerous practice, numerous testing. That's not skill, man. That's wisdom. That's willpower, and the want to keep going. If it was skill, it would just get done.
Yeah, Rudy, that is a good point, and I think your willpower thing is. I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say that they have no skill. They do have some skill, but I've never been a big fan of speedrun.
Yeah, they are skillful. They are skillful, but I'm saying it doesn't take skill to get the time itself. Is what I meant. I should rephrase that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we know that you're Rudy. You talk bluntly. All good. But I really admire you on one thing, Rudy. Well, more than one thing, but one thing I admire about you is that you got kicked out of Twin Galaxies, and then you jump right into the speedrun community, and it shows that you obviously do have a pretty intense love of playing video games and of just being a gamer, and you're trying to find this new niche, and you're jumping in. And I actually because to me is I see technology falling apart.
Right.
So I do believe that, by the way. I absolutely believe it's falling apart. Yeah. And that in essence, it's all over, but I'm honest with you. Right. It's an antiquated institution that has been passed up and passed by the world of esports and competitive gaming. And if there was going to be some sort of nostalgic factor or cool resurgence, well, the people that came in and decided that we're going to dispute everything and we're going to tear it all down, they made that decision, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, to take the opportunity that Twin Galaxies was going to get to resurrect itself, and they destroyed it. Killed it. It's dead. It's dead and gone. I do not see a foreseeable way that Twin Galaxies recovers from all this stuff.
Right.
It's dead. But, so I will go on, pretty much acknowledge and say that when Twin Galaxies is dead and all this is going away, that you're not going to find me hanging out in the speedrunning community. I mean, you're not. I'm not into it. I never have been into it.
Right.
So I admire you and other guys who have made the leap, gone over to that other side, and wanted to stay competitive in gaming, go to whatever platform was available to you.
Right.
But I don't have an interest in doing that.
Well,
I don't.
I'll be honest with you.
It's cool if you're into it, but I've never been into it. I've always, we were talking about Bill Mitchell earlier, and I remember talking with him years ago when other people said, Bill Mitchell got the first Pac-Man. He's the king of Pac-Man. And other people said, oh, as it turns out, though, people have now gotten perfect Pac-Man games, and they're recording their times, and they did it faster than Bill Mitchell did it.
Right.
So they're the real champion. And I thought, no, they're not. That doesn't count. And I know that Bill was annoyed by this.
Right.
Because I spoke to him about it years ago in Iowa. Exactly. And I just know that he was like, no, I wasn't trying to I wasn't trying to do it fast. I was just doing it perfectly. Yeah. So this idea that now that one's better because it's fast. No, there's nothing in the game of Pac-Man that says you're better if you do it faster. And that's true with a lot of these games. There are certain games, Super Mario Brothers, for instance, where you get more points at the end of the board if you do it faster. So that is a built-in achievement for doing it fast.
I will say this.
Technically, it's the same way, even though it seems like most people agree that you can.
I will say this, even though, because I told you I was friends with Todd Rogers, so even though I was for his ban and everything, don't get me wrong, after Todd was about to be banned, once he started to get questioned and other people started to get questioned, I really lost a lot of, not only hope, but a lot of drive and wanting to continue to play on and wanting to even care to compete. And I have no problem sharing this on the show because I'm not Patrick Scott Patterson. I'm not going to fucking make up stories that are not there. I'm not going to make up stories to you or anybody else. I'm going to tell you straight up. I've really thought about quitting, hanging this all up at 38 and going on 39 in May, and just giving up. I've had enough. Sometimes when I wake up to play, I have to push myself just to turn the game on. That's no fucking fun. Like, I don't feel any interest anymore like I did, or that drive I used to have. In other words, kind of like the movie Rocky, like when he goes with that fight with Apollo Creed, and then in the second one he's like, remember that guy Rock? Because he lost his edge, because he was just tired of the whole thing. And it took a push, from his wife when she had that baby to get him back in the ring. I don't have anybody pushing me right now to do anything. I bought the capture device. I got the green screen. I got the whole setup. I'm ready to go. I've already been doing a couple of runs here and there. You go to my Smashcast channel, you can see I have stuff up. But yeah, I don't have a lot of drive or care to even play anymore. It's sad. And that's where it's at. I don't know if that's going to get better or not. I'm not going to bullshit you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I spoke on the XCast a few days ago with Todd Friedman.
Yeah.
And he's doing he's basically almost heading up Walter Day's trading card collection.
Yeah.
And I found it, I guess I never really put two and two together with this.
Right.
I never paid that much attention, and I guess I should have been paying attention as a guy who's kind of more known for a video game journalist than I am for being a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
I should have noticed this or taken note of it. But, they used to be called the Twin Galaxies trading cards, and now they're called the Walter Day Collection trading cards.
Right, and it's been like that
and
for a while.
I think there's something there that just, we all know that Twin Galaxies is kind of fading away, but for some reason, there's people out there that insisted on, before Twin Galaxies fades away, we need to wreck all their icons. Yeah. We need to destroy Todd Rogers and destroy Bill Mitchell and destroy others, and I don't know why that is. One thing I would like to ask you, Rudy, right now, and it's okay because I know you're just a real person.
Yeah, of course.
You throw stuff out there,
right?
But when it comes to this dispute of Todd and of Bill, and of others, you are actually kind of on the same side as PSP. Does that bother you, or?
No, because even though I may sound like I'm on the same side as that asshole, that guy's never done anything positive or good for the gaming community. No matter what you think or Mike Soroka says or whatever, I look at it like this.
No, I don't disagree with that statement.
Yeah,
He's never done anything good for this community. He's attempted to do good things for himself.
Correct, and I'm glad that you see that.
He's extremely self-centered.
Right. So
narcissist actually is what he is.
So just because it's like saying if Hillary Clinton said something that I'm in agreement with, that doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking go for her or like her ever. I've told you this before. We've made jokes about this. Even if if there was favoritism and I was gonna have to sleep with, like you said, her over some other weirdo or whatever. When we made jokes that day, remember? It's not going. It's not going to change a damn thing. Number one, I would not sleep with her if my life depended on it. I'd rather kill myself. And secondly, no matter what she says that's positive, doesn't change the fact of all the shit that she did bad. So just because bumfuck Patrick Scott Patterson out of Denton, Texas, that lives off his wife and obsessed over Billy Mitchell is on the same page with me as far as these bands go, doesn't change the fact of all the shit he said and did bad over the years. So, no.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It means nothing to me.
You happen to fall in line with him doesn't mean that he's not a liar.
No, it's like if I fall in line with, what do you call it? Let's just say Kim Jong on something he said. Like, say for instance, his favorite game is Splatterhouse. What does that mean? I'm going to like Kim Jong? No fucking way. I don't care if he likes Splatterhouse. That doesn't change how I'm going to feel about him or about North Korea. Why? Because he likes my game? Macaulay Culkin, that's a different story. I think it's pretty cool that he loves Splatterhouse. But Macaulay Culkin's never done anything bad to anybody, as far as I know. So.
Yeah, that's true. Macaulay Culkin does seem like kind of an alright dude,
Yeah.
Wasn't he with Megan Fox for a minute?
It's a good question. I'm not 100% sure on that.
He was with somebody, maybe it wasn't Megan Fox, the dude from 90210 was with her. He was with somebody super hot for a minute there. And I just remember being kind of shocked that, like, really, Macaulay Culkin is still bringing that kind of tail in? Good for him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if we don't know who it is. There's a moot point.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
But it might have been Megan Fox.
It might have been.
I could be wrong. But listen, Rudy, we've, you and I have been at odds about this. Not like you and I personally had odds about it. We're not, nothing, negative happening with our relationship, but
of course.
It's just, I just don't, I feel bad for these guys who are being um, who are being put on the fryer over this.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Roger and Bill Mitchell, and I actually feel bad for the guys who are having it directed towards them too. Who are just trying to kind of help out their friends, guys, the Richie Knuckles and Joel West of the world. And I'm a little annoyed. And hey, if this is me calling you out, you Joe listener out,
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to call out individual listeners of this, but I'm kind of sick of the whole, hey, Bill Mitchell / and/or Todd Rogers are my friend, but we need to get to the truth, because we need to get to the truth and find out what's really. No, you take a side, guys. Pick a side.
Right.
I mean, you gotta pick a side on this. I know people don't like to pick sides, but this is basically a civil war within Twin Galaxies, and you gotta kind of choose one. And I just kind of. Well, great guy, but we need to get to the bottom of this. Truth is, we need to bottom of this. That just comes out of science, all things. And people lead with what belief. It's like this came out with Trump. And the FBI here recently. You turn on Fox News, and boom, this is worse than Watergate. The Democrats are crooks. Look what they did. And then you turn on CNN, and they say, hey, this evidence is inconclusive, and we still think Trump colluded with Russia. It doesn't matter. No evidence changed anybody's mind. And that's the exact same thing that's going on here. The pro-Tom Rogers people are just in his corner, no matter what. And the anti-Todd Rogers people, no matter what you show them, they just say, no, it doesn't matter. That doesn't prove it. Oh no, we already proved that you can't get this score,
right?
So therefore, you can't get 551. And they say, oh, actually, but that one was beaten, and that part was disproven. Oh, it doesn't matter. People, I see people still to this day using old data that has been confirmed as false, but they still use it as part of their argument for why so-and-so is innocent or why so-and-so is guilty.
Well, I've said this 100 times. I think that, Jace Hall has no backbone and no fucking, he's the biggest pussy ever in the gaming community. I don't care if he was in the military or how tough he is. He's an asshole. And he, instead of doing what he should have did a long time ago and clean house the right way, he instead waited and let everything build up, and then let the wrong people in the gaming community, like William McAvoy and Hector Tellock and all these fucked up people, to come in and just make it worse. If they think they're going to ever have a clean community by what they're doing, they won't. It's only going to get worse from here.
No, well, and Rudy, when it comes to a point where you just pick apart every little thing that everybody does, then just know that eventually your actions will be picked apart too.
Right? No, you're right.
That's just the way of things. Listen, Jace Hall, I've never met the guy, all right? I don't know. I've never even spoken with him on the phone, even though I technically was employed by him for a time. But, listen, the one thing he did, I'm not going to get into his character. I'm not even going to, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me one way or another. But I will say this. This falls on him. This mess falls on him.
Yep.
Simply because, I'll oversimplify it for the world. He left the inmates on the asylum. That's what happened. He took over. He left the inmates on the asylum.
Yeah.
They ran the asylum into the ground, and now it's done. It's done for everybody.
It's true.
So that's the issue. That's the issue. The community adjudication, the dispute system, it made a mockery of it. People in Twin Galaxies liked it because they thought it was fun.
Right.
Because they thought it gave them the power. But it wasn't a just system. It wasn't. It was dumb. That would be, to me, politically speaking, since we kind of jump back towards politics, that's akin to having a full democracy. Say, oh, the United States is a democracy. No, it's not. It's not. If you had a full democracy, do you know how much of a mess that would be? You know how terrible that would be?
No, it's true.
Basically, when you have a democracy, all you're doing is you have the ability to vote away people's rights.
I understand.
And in the space between galaxies, people have voted away or screamed away other people's rights to have their say, to be on the forum.
And I'm going to say something.
Such as Todd Rogers. Looks like Bill Mitchell's they're trying to make him that.
Yeah.
The big man.
And, it's funny. Other people knew about this ahead of time, but I'm going to say it now. I don't care. I was going to hold it back, but now that it's been long enough and it's got to come out. After Sell It on the Screen was shut down, and I'm sorry, besides Mike Soroka, since you left and everything else, there was no talent on that show. I don't care if they're your friends or not, your cousins, whatever, no talent on that show. And that's one of the reasons probably why it shut down. But here's what I'm offended by. And Mike didn't seem to care about this. When Richie Knuckles was called in the middle of the night to take over the show, even though it would have been a different show than Sell It on the Screen, and begged Billy Mitchell to do a show, even though it wouldn't have been Sell It on the Screen, the truth of the matter is, it would have been Sell It on the Screen without the name of Sell It on the Screen. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to fucking take what Mike and you and everybody else created and fucking destroy it. And that's fucked up. He called fucking Richie Knuckles in the middle of the night and offering him fucking money and everything else. Luckily, Richie had a backbone and declined, and Richie knew he was better than that, because Richie's like, why the fuck am I going to use my talents at my peak just because he wants to use me for my talents? And that was intelligent of him.
Richie's a good guy.
Question is, though,
in a lot of ways, Richie reminds me of you, Rudy, honestly. I mean, he's, sure, he's loud, he speaks his mind, he says what some people are afraid to say, but Richie Knuckles are good people, man.
Yeah, the thing with me and Richie Knuckles, we have a lot of similarities, and we would be great if we all had a show together, the three of us, and that could happen, by the way, just so everybody knows. It's not a pipe dream anymore. I will say this, though. Richie and I have differences on certain things of accomplishments in video gaming and what games, besides what matter and what don't. We have disagreements with that. But the truth of the matter is, yes, we do think a lot alike. We are not afraid to say it like it is, and sometimes we hurt each other's feelings, and sometimes we disagree on things, and that's just the way it is. I mean, same with you, when you were talking about the government earlier. I didn't like everything you had to say, but again, that doesn't change, my relationship with you. We have our different opinions and different reasons for why we want the government and we don't want all this and all that, so it changes up. And, like I said, in closing, that, and then I've just been, eating right, working out. I pigged out on Super Bowl. I don't know if you watched Super Bowl. I really thought it was going to be fixed again. So I got really sick on Super Bowl.
Great game this
year. It's funny. Even though I stayed home and bought my own stuff from the grocery store and pigged out on a whole bunch of salty stuff, well, except I had some Dickey's barbecue. I got to tell you, man, it didn't do well with me at all. And I don't know. I may have to quit eating bad at all, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it.
Dude, you have, your stomach is such a sissy. And your body is just is your body the ultimate crybaby, man?
I think so. I think what happened is I put so much good stuff in it. When I put the bad, my body's like, what the fuck is going on? So I think it's both ways. Either you've got to eat bad and a little good, or you got to eat really great and that's it. There's no such thing as it seems like this once a week is catching up with me. I'm still gonna do it. I mean, I'm not gonna stop. I'm doing really well. I got all my blood tests. I got everything going good for me. My body fat's down to almost 14% for the first time since I was in my 20s. I'm doing good. I'm getting stronger, and my physique is starting to rip up little by little. So it's doing good. But yeah, I'm not gonna give it up. I still got my coupons downstairs. I'm still gonna fucking test it out. I'm still gonna go to Dairy Queens and stuff, and go to fucking Carl's or whatever I decide to do, and have a burger here and there. You've got to.
Hey, listen, I don't. I always say when I see a guy who's in really good shape,
yeah,
man, I would do anything to have those abs, except for work out to eat right.
Well,
that's stupid.
I have abs, and I don't even do one single
I'd
crunch.
rather be fat. Personally, I'd rather be fat than have to, deal with, it's a drag, man.
Well, I'll tell you my secret. It's very simple. Any human can do this. It's all about eating proportionate. Believe it or not, bigger meals are better than smaller. I don't care what fucking science says. I'll tell you why. If you eat a combination plate as opposed to eating, say, a piece of meat, a piece of bread by itself, and say water, right? That's good and that's healthier, but here's the thing. If you have a piece of meat, right? A piece of bread, depending on what bread you like, glass of water with lemon, and then add a piece of fruit to it. Now you're like, well, wait a minute. Fruit, vegetables, all this stuff. Yeah, that's the whole idea. Fruit, vegetables, starch, a little bit of bread, right? And then some meat. And honestly, if you eat all that together like that, it digests a lot better. And the nice thing about that is you can eat more and get away with it. It's just like the theory about fat burning fat. It's true. You eat cottage cheese, it's high in fat, but it actually helps you burn fat. So it's a very simple diet. It's just very minimal stuff, very clean. It's not about what you eat, it's how you're preparing it. So, it's very important. And like I said, anybody can do it. And then I go to the gym 2 or 3 days a week, and I do a lot of light weights, and I walk a lot. Lots of walking. Fast walking on the treadmill, fast walking outside, fast walking at my job. I don't do a single ab crunch, and my abs are already defining, and I don't do one fucking crunch.
Rudy Ferretti, gamer turned dietitian. It is good. It is interesting to hear that.
Yeah, you can get abs without doing a single crunch. They're not going to be as strong as everybody else's, but it's about the look, right? It's not about being the strong.
I'm poor. I'm divorced. So I'm not happy to have kids. Yeah, I do. But I cook and I do 3 meals a day and all that stuff. But like for instance tonight, I actually had a podcast special plan that got canceled. So I'm gonna be sitting home. By myself tonight, and I will probably have for dinner. I'll probably have like half a bag of chips and a bowl of pickles.
Damn.
That is probably what I will have for dinner tonight.
Well,
I'm totally cool with that.
But why don't you just try something that I try? Do the spices, right? Do the spices. Cook with some lemon and water, right? Make some chicken. Put some sweet potatoes on the side. Put some spinach. Cut up some fruit. There's your dinner right there, man. And if you really have to, have a fucking glass of beer with it. At least you fucking cut everything else out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having tonight. I already made my lunch for work. I got an Ezekiel, just like Ezekiel Elliott, from the Cowboys. I got an Ezekiel bread, which I don't like very much, but I'm trying it. I got that with the wrap. Yeah.
That's not with bread alone.
Yeah, chicken, sweet potatoes, a little bit of mustard, some, fucking spinach, carrots, onions, mushrooms, and that's my sandwich. And then I take a piece of fruit with me. I take a protein bar, tons of water, tons and tons and tons of water. That's it. It's going to be my dinner for tonight.
Very cool. Very cool. Rudy, we're out of time. It's been kind of a weird show. We've been bumping around a lot, and I say that a lot on this show.
I'm glad that we did.
But, it's just the state of twin galaxies, the state of the galaxy is weak. It is weak. And maybe it will get better. I tend to think that it probably will not.
Yeah.
But we shall see. Rudy, any other last thoughts? You have about 45 seconds.
No, just a reminder to all these cowards who think they're gamers that didn't pick up a controller till 2006-07 for the King of Kong era. Come on the show already. And stop lying saying that you take your phone calls and your phone number's been public for fucking 20 years when nobody ever, ever, ever gets a response from phone calls. By the way, Bill Bastable called Patrick Scott Patterson the other day on several occasions, and there was no return call. But yet the asshole goes on his wall and says that his phone is always open. Just wanted to mention that. Just wanted to mention it. And that's it. As always, I am Rudy J. Ferretti. He is Josh Houslander, and this is show, I believe, number 21. Boy, are we going strong.
Yeah. So it's so our show is